And we're live. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to the Battle of AginCourt. I will be your great militaristic host. Guy. I probably shouldn't have opened with that, but anyways, this is the Battle of Agincourt. This was a sort of mid to late medieval battle. This was led by Henry V, and essentially what happened is during the 100 Years' War, which was in the smack dab middle, this engagement was, this battle happened because the French and the King and the English could not decide on the French throne, and so a lot of English and French nobility started clashing and just sort of, well, whatever this is, just, fought and battled. By gosh, my braces have quite the reflection in the camera. But anyway, there was a previous battle called Harfleur. Harfleur sort of happened before this, and it wasn't a good thing for the English. They did win the battle, but it was a lot of high casualties, and so basically Henry V said, "All right, let's pull out of here. Let's get going." So they went to this place called Agincourt. Agin. I think I'm saying it right. If I'm not, you can roast me in the comments. But it's the Battle of Agincourt, and at this battle, the English were met with a very large 20,000 French soldiers and mounted cavalry. This was something that happened quite rapidly for the French to get from one battle to the next. Pretty much any French nobility or soldiers that were still fighting each other sort of called a truce and sort of rallied against the English. It was going to be pretty epic for the French until they, of course, stupidly lost the battle that they shouldn't have lost. They could have waited 5 days and they would have easily have defeated the French, or excuse me, the English. But the English had roughly about I think 8,000 soldiers. The French, of course, 20,000. So obviously were at a very huge disadvantage on the English side. But the English somehow prevailed in this. They used longbowmen and stakes. So they sharpened stakes. They laid those out in front of them, and they used their longbowmen and just kind of fought off from range. The cavalry, well, let's talk about that. There was actually a, as I get this set up here, there was basically a heavy rainstorm the night before the battle, and basically what happened was the entire battlefield became muddy, and so when the cavalry charged in, I mean, you have 10,000 horses, think about that, upwards of 10,000 horses charging across muddy terrain. That's obviously going to tear it up, make it very difficult for the infantry, and basically the horses and the men became so covered in mud that they started walking because their armor was just so heavy and covered in mud and so thick. And then this allowed the archers to sort of just pick them off one by one, and when the cavalry tried to leave and try to charge backwards to sort of reroute and reinforce themselves, they basically stampeded their own swordsmen. And so what happened then was the Englishmen, who had very light infantry, came in and just started swamping them from the forest and just from anywhere that they were stationed. And Henry V was sort of just automatically risen to this high status. He was appointed the throne almost immediately after the battle. He only lost 400 soldiers. The French, I believe, lost, I think it was about 8,000 soldiers, 8 to 9,000 soldiers they lost. So that's quite a significant amount. And I mean, the English, they were just trying to leave. I mean, the French could have just let them leave, could have just, let them walk out, and everybody would have lived to fight another day. The French, of course, could have waited for more French reinforcements to come. They just didn't want to wait. So let's go ahead and let's set this battle up here. I'm no longer going to look at the webcam. Yeah, I'm trying to do a face cam. I hope it works. How far are we into this? We're at 5 minutes just about. So I wasted that much time setting up. Alright, we're going to do midday. We're going to do a We won't set a time limit. I'll do medium difficulty. All periods of war, no defenses, canyon. Alright, let's get this party, keeping it going here. Alright, so we're the English, will be defending the canyon. We're using this canyon sort of as a representation of what the actual battlefield kind of looked like. So the idea of the canyon is sort of to funnel the troops at me when I'm playing the English, so that way I can have the highest possible killing capability. Now obviously, excuse me, when I set this up here, I have to give about, there's doing 7 longbow units. Now each unit is sort of a contingent or a regiment, if you will. We'll call them a regiment. They weren't called that, but this is kind of where the Civil War sort of standard for military kind of comes from, is medieval age. And it's kind of cool how from about the 1000 AD till about through the 16, the 17, and the 1800s, they used the same sort of formations for upwards of 800 years. The formations and the styles did not see any sort of revolutionary design until not even World War I really, and even then in World War I it was just trench warfare, which is long lines of infantry, which is still quite impressive to see sort of the same style of warfare used for so many years. We didn't really evolve until we went to sort of World War II, and we kind of, you know, had different tactics, different ways, and then obviously that became even more revolutionized when we had the Vietnam War, and we sort of were fighting in vast jungles, so we shrunk down the number of men to platoons and squads, and then even nowadays we still have, you know, basic squads and fire teams, so small as even 2 people can be considered something. So I just find that very, very intriguing that we sort of have this pause in the style and the way we fight wars. It just kind of seems that like we should have evolved from that a long time ago. Like some military genius, you know, should have along the line said, hey, you know, this isn't working. You know, it is, but we're losing hundreds of thousands of troops a year. I mean, can't we, you know, change from this? And I guess the answer to that was no. You know, they couldn't think of really any other way to sort of fight any differently because their weapons hadn't evolved as the sort of the landscape and everything else around them did. So I just kind of felt that that was an interesting thing that I saw. Obviously, it's going to be a little lopsided here. I can't give them too much because then AI gets a little too crazy, and that just kind of doesn't go over well. Little quote down here every time, you know, a horse, my kingdom for a horse. Shakespeare, King Richard III, 5th volume 4, whatever. It has some interesting quotes. It said, another quote it had I saw that was interesting was, it said, a title doesn't wear a title doesn't honor a man honors the title. That was one that I saw just before I recorded this, and I thought that was quite interesting. Alright, so now we gotta set this don't worry, this won't take long at all. I need to set them up about the chokehold and do disable skirmish. No, I want to leave skirmish mode. Let's put the knights kind of in the back because they're going to be needed to flank more or less. And let's... oh, I didn't bring spearmen. Crap, I didn't give myself spearmen. That's going to be a big oof. Let's do... rats. I wish I would have remembered the spearmen. Spearmen totally change the battle. Like, you don't even know... I can't show you now, obviously, because of how significant it would be of a difference, but, I mean, spearmen, they just totally change the whole warfare. Now, obviously, these stakes right here are what this, what are they called? Longbowmen. This is what the longbowmen hid behind. They kind of use that as their cover. As from charging cavalry, we're going to speed this up here a little bit. It'll get a little jittery because you know, the AI, obviously. Oh, I have knights all the way over there. What the heck? Get over here, man. Get your head in the game. We're gonna put you guys there. Maybe I should send these guys, because they're gonna try and flank me. I already know it. But typically what this would have been is the center here would have been the route, would have been the only attacking point, and on either side they would have dense forest. So it was very difficult for the cavalry, and this is what essentially happened. They just kind of walked right at it. Now we're gonna select these guys. We're gonna use fire arrows, even though fire arrows weren't really used technically. It's gonna make it go a little bit better for me on the English defending side. So we go. The battle for AginCourt is now on. Not even most of the enemies there. Let's slow it down here. We got. Oh man, they're gonna screw this battle up. Oh, here we go. So and he lost a whole thing of cavalry. That is what actually happened. This is like just what happened. Alright, you need to enable skirmish mode, get back there. You guys need to hold that position. What are we at here? 2% allies killed, 11% enemies killed. That's good. We need, this meter down here tells me my likelihood of winning. So I need that to stay relatively high. Oh, that's my, the star over here means that's my general, so that's King Henry V, who should be more on a knight, but because this is the general's bodyguard, so it would make sense. Alright, let's send up the cavalry here. These guys are gonna just get annihilated. Oh man, this is probably not gonna end well. All of my long bowmen got out of the canyon, which is not what I wanted. I need them to go back down. Let's see, the enemy forces. They're behind me now. Let's set up along here. These guys are gonna get slammed in the rear if I'm not careful. That would be terrible. Oh no, they're coming for the long. No, they're going for the bowmen. This is not good. This is not at all what happened. This is what I hate about this game, because like the enemy, like, you can't rally your troops. So when they see cavalry charging them down, they run away like little scared girls. And it's really embarrassing, because it's not really the fighting for honor that happened in the Middle Ages, because they're just being scared wimps. Because they're afraid that they're going to get a lance pierced through their chest. Which isn't even going to happen, because they had this cover right here. But the moment they leave this cover, they're an open target. Like, they couldn't have gotten to them anyway. Thankfully, though, it's still saying that it's saying the balance of forces even matched. That shouldn't even be a thing right now. Like, it should be in the lead by a heck of a lot more. So these guys, I don't know why they run down soldiers too. This is just not good. Not good at all. Oh, we're gonna get charged down here.
Our general shames us all.
Guard mode. Oh, that's what
while his soldiers still fight. Mode. May his infamy follow him.
I have you on guard mode and skirmish mode. You guys shouldn't be running away. This is not how the actual battle went at all. Freaking, I gotta have this lamp shining right on me, because I just hate this. Oh, look at that little dismounted guy.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Yeah, we killed the enemy general.
Sent the base cur to hell.
Heavy infantry.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Well, that's good news, finally. Alright, this is going very well. These guys are standing their ground, that's good. These bowmen, I don't even... What is going on?
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
What is going on back here? Get your heads in the war. Oh, now they're freaking routing, broken, and winded. Well, no... Swear word, can't say that. I wish I could say it, but I'm not, because I'm a nice guy. Quit running away! You freaking idiots. These guys are still here, they're fine. Alright, this cavalry is like... I only have 5 cavalry soldiers. What? Alright, let's set you guys up like that. Hold that. You guys hold that. Because that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna come back and hit you. The edge of the map is literally right here. So if they cross this red line, that means that they have basically broken, and so they've basically fleeing the conflict. So it's kind of not a good thing. So like these guys, they're running away. These are my... No, those aren't my soldiers. I don't care about those guys. These guys though, they're running away. This did not happen. Like I ran like a test before this. This did not happen at all. They stayed very close to the canyon. This never even
The battle
happened.
is very much in our favor.
Probably
If
because
we
I
remain true
experimented,
and
but,
steadfast, victory will be ours.
as soon as disgraced. Enemy general has fallen. My general hasn't fallen, but he's fleeing the battle like a coward. Henry V running from a fight? That doesn't sound like a King Henry.
Missiles! Attack!
I can't even click on him. There he goes. Very tired, routing, and broken. Okay. But anyway, I think you guys get the gist of this. Battle of AginCourt was very, it became a very one-sided battle because, the French were just basically so stupid, and this, I think, is the second dumbest engagement in history. I would put at the very top, the dumbest thing that any general has ever done is the Pickett's Charge. I would put this at number 2, just because you're running your military into stakes and bowmen that are excellent bowmen too. Like they have more bowmen than you. The English do. So the French were kind of like, oh, we'll just charge them down. Well, there's these sharp stakes. The ground is muddy. You know it just rained the day before, and you're partying in your tents. Like, what is the deal? Like, these French obviously were not thinking. Now, keep in mind too, this wasn't a unified French nation at this time. They were in their own warfare, so that kind of played part of the reason. But if you're rallying to fight the enemy, like, come on. And again, they could have just waited. So I just kind of scratched my head at this fight, and I think, you know, what went wrong? It's kind of it bothers me because, like, the French could have very easily won this, okay? And they just charged through mud. They stampeded their own men when they tried to retreat. So, like...
The enemy army flees the field.
Oh, hey, we won.
Pursue and run them down.
So, yeah, there you go. King Henry V now becomes the throne ruler of France. But I'm just kind of very appalled and very disturbed by this battle because there were so many different ways that the French could have won this incident, or they could have just let them go. But, you know, they had this high ego, you know, we're going to kill the English, we're going to take over the English, you know, kill King Henry V, kill the bloodline, kill the crown, then we can decide who gets the throne. But no. They just were disorganized, they're just plain stupid, egocentric, I think is the word, egocentric. But yeah, I mean, it just, this battle should never even really happened. I'll put it to you that way. But, hey, you know, it's history. There's some dumb people in history. So, also another thing too that kind of played into it is that the French didn't have sort of like a central command. So they didn't really have one general calling the shots like Henry V did. The French had all these dukes and all these nobles that they mentioned, but they weren't unified, and I think half of the dukes and half of the nobles died in this battle of the French. They're just, you know, and much like what happens in this game that actually does, the one thing that this game does get this right is that when your leader, noble, dies, you become demoralized, so that is realistic. But other than that, I mean, come on. you're gonna run away when you're safely behind a wooden stake that can kill a horse. I don't know. I just reality versus a video game. There you go. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, there might be more coming. I'll try and leave a link to, or at least maybe up here on the screen. Haha, now that I know how to do that, I can probably put up a couple videos of some APUS history projects that I did in the past that you can watch. Yes, I am advertising my own YouTube channel right now. So, I don't know. Don't watch this during class though. Don't don't get in trouble because of me. Anyway guys, I'm out. I'll see you guys. Oh, not the hairy armpits. No. I'll I'm just gonna sign off now. Goodbye.